Hello again, this is the revision recording number 5 for AQA GCSE Business Studies. This is Unit 1 and this is about operations management. This topic is designed to talk about small businesses, but actually quite a lot of it applies to larger businesses as well. And we revisit a lot of it in Unit 2 when we're looking at growing businesses. So operations management is the process of controlling the resources of the business to make a product or provide a service efficiently and to a good level of quality. So you're thinking about getting everything to make it efficient and good quality. The difference between production and productivity: production is where you make things from raw materials or parts, and it's measured as a total amount of products made over a time period. So production might be 100 tables per day. Productivity is how much each employee makes over a period of time, and it's calculated by dividing the total output by the number of workers. So if you made those 100 tables a day in your factory but you've got 50 workers, then their productivity is two tables a day. And what you might say is, we need to increase productivity. We're still going to employ 100 workers, but how can we get them to make 3 tables a day? And obviously you might want to motivate them more. You might want to look at your production techniques, or you might want to take out some of the quality of your product and make it faster. So increasing productivity is what usually businesses look at. Efficiency means making the best possible use of our resources so that the business is competitive. So if our business is efficient, then we're not wasting resources, we're not wasting time, we're not wasting raw materials, and that links in with quality as well. If we're making good quality products, then we're not wasting materials as we go along because we've had to throw them away and reject them. If the business is competitive, it's as good or better than other people around us who are doing the same thing. So we can go out there and we can compete. It means if we're competitive, we can charge a higher price for our products, or we can charge the same as other people and actually make more money because we're efficient. So better productivity leads to increased efficiency, which makes us more competitive, which gets us better prices and more sales. Now, our resources would be our staff, raw materials, time, finance, and buildings and machinery. Those are our resources within the business. To improve efficiency of all of those, if we can make our staff more productive when they're at work, then that will improve the efficiency of the business. With raw materials, if you only order what's needed, then you can take up less storage space and you're not tying up your cash in goods and stock. Time within the business: if your staff have nothing to do and they're sat around doing nothing because something's happened on the production line, that's not efficient because they're not working and you're paying them to be there. That's called downtime. Now, if you've got cash within your business, you need to use it effectively. Don't tie it up in stock and use it to make sure it's working for you. And then buildings and machinery: if you can have more modern buildings or more modern machinery, then it's not going to break down so often, so you've got less downtime. If your buildings are energy efficient, then obviously it's going to be cheaper to run them. Now, the 3 types of production that might be used by small businesses are job production, which is one-off specialised production. It's tailor-made products meeting specific customer requirements. So something like a wedding cake, for example, that's going to be a certain way for a certain person. It's relying heavily on skilled workers, so it's labour intensive. You can sell the product for a higher price and the workers feel better about it, so they're more motivated. The bad things about it are it can be expensive. You've got to train your workers to be as skilled as that. So obviously you're going to have to pay them more money because they're skilled, and it's going to cost you in training. You might need specialist equipment for one job but not the next, so that's expensive. And production's slow, so the customer's going to have to wait. Batch production is where you're making groups of identical products at the same time. So think about a batch of cupcakes where you might make some Halloween cupcakes with little pumpkins on top in a batch, and or you can make them in stages. So you might make, if you're in a car production line, you might make a load of car doors together in a batch. The workers, you can use the workers where they've got the best skills. and you can alter production levels to meet demand. So if you've got a big order, you can fulfill that order. However, you're going to need lots of storage space to keep all the parts in for all the different batches of products you might need to make, and there will be downtime while you change the machines over to make the next batch. Flow production, think about things flowing around the factory. Think about your Coca-Cola bottles flowing around the factory. It's usually automated with machines, which means it's capital intensive. It's relying heavily on machines and obviously a lot of money in investment to set it up. It's usually mass production, so you're producing a lot of the same product, which means it can be inflexible. It's hard to change your machinery once you've got it set up to that fine degree. And it can be boring for workers. Obviously, they can feel quite demotivated if they're doing the same thing every day, day in, day out. Productivity, though, is high. You get a lot produced in the time, and therefore your unit costs are low. It cuts your costs down so you can make more profit. And your workers are pretty unskilled, so you can pay them low wages. But not usually available to small businesses when they're first setting up without a lot of investment. Technology is brilliant for production because it's quick, it's efficient, it's accurate, and it doesn't need to stop for a break. So we've got robots in computer-aided manufacture. They're strong and they're good for all the reasons I just mentioned, but they're expensive to buy in the first place. Computerised stock control is brilliant because we know exactly what we've got in store. Automatic reordering, so if we've run out of a particular product, this computer will trigger a reorder, so we don't have to rely on a human being spotting that. We can see what's going on straight away with our sales, and we can see if it's comparing to last year, that kind of thing. We can see what's likely to be going to come up, so we can make sure we're ordering enough stock based on last year's figures. That's computerised stock control. Communications technology, things like Skype, video conferencing, webcams, webinars, all speed up efficiency within the business because staff aren't having to travel. They can just log on from a computer. Emails are obviously fast and effective, quicker than putting things into an envelope and sticking a stamp on. And the internet allows instant access to information. So that's how communications technology has speeded up the business world and made things more efficient. And then computer-aided design, or CAD, which many of you are familiar with from DT, means that new products can be developed quickly and errors are quickly put right. If you're having to draw it on a piece of paper and there's an error, you've got to go back through your drawing with a rubber and put it all right. On a computer, it's quickly corrected. And obviously 3D imaging can be used rather than having to actually physically make a prototype within the design function. So the benefits of new technology are that it lowers the unit costs of production, it improves communications, makes operations quicker and more flexible, and better customer service as well, because you can respond more quickly to customers. However, possible problems that you could have with new technology are that the costs can be high of setting it up, you might need to train your staff, and you might need specialist skilled staff. Now, quality management is where we're producing what customers need and want within budget and on time. And the key to quality management is quality is what the customer expects. Not every product has to be the same quality. It depends what the customer is expecting. If you've got poor quality compared to what the customer's expecting, the customers won't come back. So that could be a problem for your business. You might have to, if the product breaks, you might have to remake the product or repair it for the customer, and obviously that's going to cost money. And if the problem is found actually on the production line, then you'll have to bin the product and start again, so that's costing money there. A business needs to have quality standards to measure its quality. So a call centre might measure how quickly the calls are answered, or a factory might measure how many products are rejected because they're below standard. Quality assurance is a way of improving quality standards by setting standards at all stages of the production, and every worker is responsible for quality in their own area, which makes sense really, doesn't it? And the workers can feel motivated by this because they're feeling that they're being trusted and they're given a sense of responsibility. You get it right first time, it's reducing your money, isn't it? It's reducing your costs because you're not wasting products because they've got defects, and obviously your customers are going to be happier. They're going to be happy that the products of good quality and not going to fail on them. This links in nicely with customer service. And customer service is when you provide service to your customers before, during and after their purchase. And again, it's about meeting customer expectations, and I would argue it's actually about exceeding customer expectations, because that's where you get customers talking about you and how pleased they were with what you provided to them. Customer service is important because customers will come back, they'll recommend you, which we've said before in our marketing unit is a very, very important means of communication and promotion with our customers. It's harder to get new customers than it is to sell to existing customers. So we need to look after our existing customers. And it also costs time and money to deal with complaints and returns. So all good reasons that businesses should look at their customer service. And customer service could involve, depending on the business, it could involve giving information before the customer actually buys the product. For example, someone's going into a Porsche garage to buy a Porsche, they're probably not going to buy it then and there. They're probably looking for information in the first place. So how do you deal with them then? When they're actually buying the product, the salespeople need to be polite and smart and helpful. You need to make sure that your business is there when the customer needs you. So if your opening times are there to suit you and they don't suit your customers, then actually you're not offering very good customer service. After sales is also very important. If there's a problem, how does your business deal with it? Do you offer a newsletter to keep customers informed of what's going on in your business? What's your support like? Do you offer a helpline? Do you answer the phone if they try and ring you? All good things that companies need to be doing to give good customer service. To improve customer service, you can talk to customers and find out what their experience was. If they had a bad experience, how can we make that better? How can we make sure it doesn't happen again? You can reward loyal customers. Okay, you've been a customer of ours for 10 years, we're going to give you a £100 discount voucher. Research the competition. Look at what they're doing. If they're offering a means of customer service that's really good, you're going to have to offer the same thing. For example, the big supermarkets with click and collect, where you can order your goods online and then go to a place and just collect it and all the shopping's been done for you. Train your staff. If the staff aren't motivated, if they don't enjoy coming to work, they're not going to give good customer service. So get your staff on board. We need to give good customer service. We need to smile at our customers. Get to know the customers personally. Try and find out about them. Get to know them by name, especially in a small business. This is really easy to do, to get to know who your customers are. Understand their needs. What does my customer need? Put yourself in their shoes. What would I like if I was that customer? And try and surprise and delight them. And that's where you get good PR on the back of it, and people will talk about your business. You can monitor customer service by doing surveys, as I've already mentioned. You could do other market research by talking to focus groups. You could send in mystery shoppers to your business. Get somebody to go in and see how the staff treat them. And you can talk to the staff. You know, what's our customer service like? And the staff might say, well, there's a problem. Every time we try and put through a transaction, it takes 10 minutes because the broadband's not fast enough. And you might find it's not the staff who are giving the bad customer service, it's the systems. So you can make changes there. ICT has obviously made customer service a lot easier to deal with because we can be more accessible to customers. They can email us. They can get lots of information online that they probably couldn't get about our business before. Customers can compare with other businesses, so they can look at prices and service from other businesses. And customers can access customer service facilities from home. The benefits to businesses of that are that it's relatively cheap to deal with a customer over the internet. They can reach many customers, especially all around the world with ICT, and they can use email to communicate. But the disadvantage for businesses are that they need to keep their websites updated. If you've got outdated information on your website, you're not providing a good service to your customers. The personal contact is removed. If you're selling online and your customer service online, you lose something of that personal contact, and customer service is therefore likely to suffer. So you've got to give extra, really, in terms of customer service. And you need to respond quickly. If a customer can email you, they're going to expect a quick response. With social media and communications, social media, we've got to be very careful. Customers can post something and it can go viral very quickly, and that's going to damage your business's name. So you've got to respond with something that's really going to wow and surprise and delight that customer very quickly, to stop that and nip that in the bud before your name's out there as an example of bad customer service. Global e-commerce, which is selling online, you can reach customers all around the world. However, there might be problems with the language, with delivery in a different country, and there might be customs to pay at going into that other country for that, but the customer would obviously have to cover that. And there might be different laws. You might find you're not allowed to sell a particular product in a different country. That's all things that we have to consider as people selling online. Now, the final part of this unit is about consumer protection, and obviously businesses have to be aware of this, because you can get into a lot of trouble as a business if you are not working within these laws. Now, there are different laws. Again, you don't need to know what they all are in an exam, but you need to know how they protect consumers and therefore what that means for a business. So there's the Sale of Goods Act from 1979 and the Supply of Goods and Services Act from 1982, which say that if you're selling goods and services to customers, they must be as described. So if you're saying the product is this, it must be that. You can't say some things, I don't know, a cereal's made out of corn and then you've actually put wheat in there. You've got to tell the customers exactly what's in there. The goods must be fit for purpose. So if you're selling a pair of shoes, you can't say, oh, well, you weren't meant to walk in them. And the goods and services must be of satisfactory quality. And obviously that word satisfactory is the key there. And it depends what the customer's expecting and how much they're paying and all those kinds of issues. There's the Consumer Protection Act from 1987. If a customer suffers injury or damage to their property when using the goods, then you have to pay compensation. The Competition Act of 1998. You're not allowed as a business to agree with other businesses to fix prices, because obviously that's not good for the consumer, because you're fixing the price rather than being competitive. There's the Consumer Protection Law from 2000, which applies to distance selling. And this applies to businesses selling online, mail order and on the phone. You have to give clear information. The information must be provided in writing. And the key thing is that customers have got a cooling off period of 7 days to change their minds. So if anyone ever tells you you can't return things that you've bought online, with the exception of second-hand goods, which are covered by different laws, if anyone ever tries to tell you you can't return goods bought online, actually that's against consumer protection laws. Right, that's the end of that rather long unit. Good luck in whatever exam you're doing.